Welcome back to another episode of Travis Laughs. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're getting lots of healing sleep. A lot of people having trouble sleeping these days. They're worried about the economy. They're worried about whether they're going to keep their job or whether their children are going to be getting a good education under these circumstances. A lot of people are wondering whether they should cash in their savings account and their retirement and buy stocks in Blockbuster Video, which sounds insane, but everything about the stock market is insane these days. Good luck to you on that front. The sort of thing that keeps me awake at night, the sort of thing that makes it hard for me to get a good 8 hours of sleep, I worry about things like when they were making the movie, the 2000 movie, Men of Honor, starring Cuba Gooding Jr. as the first African-American Navy diver. Did anybody pitch the idea of calling that movie Scuba Gooding Jr.? If not, that's a terribly missed opportunity. And the older I get, the less tolerance I have for missed opportunities. I know some of you young people are like, I'm going to live forever. I've got millions of opportunities left. Well, I've got 6, so I don't squander them anymore. Us older people have had way more time to practice the art of complaining. That's why we're so good at it. But the truth of the matter is there's a lot of good things about getting older. For example, I get to play a lot of games that I didn't used to get to play, such as this wonderful game. It's very exciting. It's called Will I Make It to the Bathroom on Time? It's a fun game. It comes with this really amusing walk. It's kind of like, I could show you, but I prefer this stand-up scenario being one where you're laughing with me, not at me, so you're just going to have to imagine it. Another game that's really fun, this one's popular around my house, is Did I Take My Vitamins Already? That's a great game, and it actually has a championship round, which is like, yes, I know my alarm went off, but did I then actually take my vitamins? But my favorite old person game, and you can play this at any age, you can play it, but it's boring when you're younger. I'm getting to the age where this is a fast-paced and exciting game, and it's called Which Part of My Body is Gonna Fail Me Next? Now, my money has been on another joint, like when my shoulder went out, or on my hearing. And I lean towards the hearing one because it seems like almost every conversation I'm involved with lately, the first contribution I make is, I'm sorry, what was that? But then I saw on my calendar that my eye appointment was coming up, and I was like, maybe that's gonna be it, because I've been having trouble seeing things this year, this winter especially. I've been having difficulty seeing things. So I went in, took the little tests and everything, and my doctor told me everything looks good. You're holding the same prescription for medium and long distance vision that you've had for a while now. And I was like, really? I've been having trouble seeing things. And she goes, well, Travis, let me ask you a question. You work outside, right? And I said, yes. And you wear your glasses, yes? Mm-hmm. And you wear your mask? And I said, anytime I'm around anybody that's not in my immediate bubble. And she's like, good job. And we high-fived each other and did that little dance that you do when you know that you prioritize a small inconvenience to yourself less than the well-being of other people. You guys know the dance. You know the dance, right? Anyway, and then she said, well, Travis, what's happening is your glasses are fogging up. This is something that happens to Caucasian men in your specific age range, as well as to all other warm-blooded creatures on the earth who breathe out moist, warm air onto a cold surface. So, yeah, it wasn't the vision. But the receptionist was taking a copy of my ID, and she looked at it and she goes, you know who you look like? And I said, who's that? I hate this game, by the way, because I actually think I look a little bit like George Clooney. And I realize that that's just all in my head because that particular statement gets a bigger laugh than any of these other jokes that I've written. So I said, who do I look like? And she said, you look like Yoda. And I said, the fuck you say? And she got real worried, and she's like, no, like when he was younger. It's a compliment. And I said, you mean like Grogu from The Mandalorian? And then she looked really confused and she said, I said Ray Liotta. So I should have gone with hearing as the first thing. On a brief political note, I just want to offer my congratulations to everybody who managed not to get shoved into a locker while the Cobra Kai administration was being escorted out of the high school following being expelled. And yes, I know they said a lot of worrisome things on the way out, talking about revenge, threatening the lives of teachers, and burning the school down. And yes, I know for a little while it might be a good idea to walk with a friend on your way through the parking lot. But, and this is very important, they are no longer the school administration. On a barely related note, can I just say that if you want to bear arms, you want to walk around carrying a gun to protect yourself or your family, the Constitution of the United States has protection built into it so that you can do that. If you want to gather with a large number of like-minded people and publicly protest some aspect of the government that you feel is failing its job, the Constitution of the United States also provides protection for you under those circumstances. But if you want to gather together with a large number of like-minded, upset people while bearing arms and rage against some failing in the government, that's known as brandishing. And that is illegal and dangerous, and there are federal, state, and local ordinances that will take away not just that liberty, but many of your other liberties as well. So don't do that. Okay, that wasn't so much a joke as a civics lesson. But look, we're Americans. We have a lot of liberties. You can actually practice, you can attempt to juggle flaming torches. You can attempt to juggle flaming torches without your pants on if you want to. Have at it. As a member of the society, you can walk back and forth in front of a school ground. You're allowed to do that. Nobody's going to stop you. But if you put those two things together and you attempt to juggle flaming torches without pants on, walking back and forth in front of a school ground, you'll be lucky if all they take away is your liberties. The last thing I want to talk about today is a new segment, okay? Travis's conspiracy theory of the week, all right? So here's my conspiracy theory this week. I feel like every theology, ideology, philosophy, and political viewpoint are all designed to make it so that you don't have to do what's good all the time. Children know what's good. Ask any kid who's misbehaving, hey, are you being good? And they'll do one of two things. I'm talking small children here. They'll do one of two things. They'll either say, no, or they'll say, yes. And when you say, are you telling me the truth? No. All right. Children know. I think adults know what the good thing to do is also. But here's the difference. I believe that children are more morally mature than adults, because if a child doesn't want to do something that's good, they won't do it, and they will accept that they're not being good. Adults don't have that ability. We need to believe that we're right when we do things that aren't good. That's why we have theology, philosophy, political parties. Is to carve out some room, some legalese, where if seen from the right angle, we're the good guy. If a child doesn't want to play with the neighbor kid because he smells bad, that child doesn't need to write the book of ivory. Thou shalt not therefore play with the unwashed among thee, lest thou also getst cooties. Okay, they don't need that. They just go, yeah, I'm supposed to play with them, I don't want to. If a kid doesn't want to share her new breakable toy with her little brother, she doesn't feel a need to invent the Book of Klutz, chapter 4, verse 6. Thou shalt not hand thy rainbow pony to he who sticks his fingers in his nose, lest her mane become gross and crunchy. She just says, no, I'm not going to do it, and accepts that that makes her a bad big sister. So, but as adults, we can't just accept that, yeah, I've chosen to be the villain in this story. I'm doing something I know I'm not supposed to. So we come up with all these ways of covering ourselves. You know, we get large groups of people that agree with each other. Yeah, no, you're good, you're the good guys. Yeah, they're the bad guys over there. We're the good guys. We're the Christians. We're the Christian nation. Shut up. The entire scripture is filled with Jesus telling people, if you have anything of value, sell it. Take the money and give it to anybody that has less than you do. We're a Christian nation. What was the news about all week this week? It was about how a bunch of incredibly rich people were very upset that a bunch of far less rich people had figured out how to tweak their little clubhouse. What happened was a bunch of people with less money bought stocks in a company that only exists because they sold hundreds of thousands of copies of games in which you steal a car and a gun, pick up a prostitute, and then throw her from the moving car and back over her before running over some homeless people and going and doing some other crime, and that's fun entertainment. That's what dominated the news this week. And we have the right wing of our Christian nation saying, yes, we're the good guys. We support the scriptures. We have the $1 trillion military infrastructure that will crush anyone in the country that ever dares fuck with us. Yeah, Saint Republicans. And then as liberals, we're so proud of ourselves because we wouldn't ever do that. All we do is we take care of education and poor people and opportunities, and we borrow trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars from a country whose ideology isn't even remotely Christian so that we can afford the whole thing, even though we know we don't have any way of ever paying it back. That's not exactly the moral high ground you want to be bragging about. Hey, 3-year-old, quick question. Are we doing good? No. Are we a Christian nation? Yes. Why? Because the little fishy on the back of the car next to NRA. See you guys next week.